Namaste. I'm your host Abhilasha. Welcome to the talk show. And today we have very special guest, Dr. H R Nagendra ji. He is a Chancellor of S-VYASA University, and he has been, honored with Padmashri in 2016, and he has been honored with multiple international and national awards for his work in yoga and yoga research and the way he is working for, promoting yoga. So we are going to talk to him today and understand his journey, like how he has started his yoga journey, and then what kind of work he is doing right now, to spread the message of yoga. So let's begin this wonderful conversation with Dr. H R Nagendra ji. Namaste Guruji.
Namaste.
Welcome to my show, and I'm very honored and glad to have you on my show.
Thank you.
So there are so many things we can talk, you have experienced almost 5 decades now. You will be completing 5 decades with the all yoga journey. So there will be lots of talk about, but we want to understand first that how did your journey started with yoga, because your background is mechanical engineering. You had done PhD in mechanical engineering, and then you have moved to yoga. So how did this shift has happened?
It's a standard question people ask
Yes.
always. How I moved from mechanical to human engineering.
Yes.
So when I started doing my doctoral studies in Institute of Science, then we were a group of people, all the toppers. We were discussing, brainstorming, what is this that we are doing when science is trying to get at the reality. So are we really moving towards reality in understanding or in fathoming? That was the question that used to come. But all of us came to the conclusion, no, what all research that we are doing is only expanding like this, and not taking it to the root of the reality. Therefore, what is to be done? Then we are all sort of confused. Then we met one Professor Satyanarayana Shastri.
Okay.
He was a big professor of chemistry and very deep in Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita and then Yoga Vasishtha, everything. And he had very, very focused and very clear mind about the entire dimension. So we started interacting, and then he convinced all of us that Upanishads give us the direction.
Okay.
So what all we are doing in the modern science is essentially tracking only the physical world.
Yes.
And over 400 years, we have come to a phase where we understand almost everything about the physical world. Now science is moving further to understand the subtler and deeper and causal dimensions of this entire creation. So if it took 400 years to understand the physical, grossest, how long it is going to take to understand the whole creation? Maybe thousands of years. But our Indian seers, thousands of years back, had fathomed. They also started a journey like this. Then gradually they understood more and more. Shardarshanas came and all Upanishads came finally, and we have a complete knowledge base. So I started studying the Upanishads in close association with interactions with Professor Satyanarayana Shastri. We started doing that, and it was a big journey, continuously understanding deeper dimensions with close interaction with question and answer, studying the scriptures, understanding. Then various bhashyas are there in the Upanishads. So many Upanishads are there, but the 10 Upanishads are the most important. So we started understanding the methodology. Each Upanishad has two objectives. One is search for reality, another is search for happiness. Life is not only to find reality. You want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. And
Definitely.
what is that which you call as happiness? So Upanishads go into the great depth. That's called as the Ananda Mimamsa. That fascinated me. So we all search in the wrong direction for getting happiness, or go in the wrong direction to get at the reality. Therefore, we have not been able to get at reality or the happiness. So Upanishad gave the right direction. Then understanding and practice should start. So I started doing the practice also, and gradually I started understanding and then fathoming and experiencing dimensions. And yes, this is the knowledge base that we should have. And that's how, when I completed these things, then already I was set that my line is going to be here into the dimensions of spirituality, what you call as yoga in its broad sense and others. So this is how my entire life changed over 3, 4 years, 5 years from 1965, 68. So when I went abroad, this continued journey continued. Then I wanted to see a big university and a medium university and the big industry. All this happened. I first went to British Columbia, in Canada, Vancouver, then came to NASA in Marshall Space Flight Center, came to Harvard, came to London, all the top things I fathomed.
What you were studying there,
Then in each one of them, I was working. For example, when I was in British Columbia, in Vancouver, I worked on what are called as the greenhouse. Greenhouse was when the temperature becomes very low, how to protect the plants. My specialty is heat transfer. How the heat transfer can be done, how it can be insulated, all that. And also I worked on what's called as combined convection, the turbulence, more of these things. And I published papers. When I went to Marshall Space Flight Center, I was working on space shuttle. There I was working on very low temperature fluids called as the cryogenic engineering. So I was working on that. But when I came to Harvard, it was exactly opposite of that, very, very high temperature. In New York, at them skyscrapers were coming, and fire that comes will spread very fast. So in Harvard, there was a project, how to control that, how to contain spreading of fire everywhere. So again, that was a thing, computer thing. Then when I came back to London, I was working on the computer simulation. Then computers were just coming, not now.
That was the beginning.
It was very, very preliminary stage. And I worked on how to simulate things in the computer thing. So that's how my journey came up. When I came back, then I had decided already, I quit Institute of Science after guiding one of my PhD students, went to Kanyakumari. There in Kanyakumari, I started training the people mainly. People should work for the country and they should be grounded in this total personality development factor of education. This is how I stayed there for 15, 20 years. By 1991, we started this. 86, I came here.
Swami Vivekananda Kendra in Kanyakumari.
Kanyakumari, yeah.
So you were there for 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, 74, 75 came. Then 86, our main person who founded that, H R Nagendra, he was a tremendously big organizer, So he was in Sangha as the general secretary. Then there was a challenge to put up Swamiji's statue on the mid-sea rock. So everybody had failed to get the permission. So he was able to bring all the country and the best of the people to accept and see that the rock memorial comes up, And it was all in 69, the rock memorial came up. So before I went abroad, then I was staying in Kanyakumari for a few days and then I was in Chennai. Then when it's completed, I want to go there and see. So when I returned, I went there to Kanyakumari and then Eknathji said, now you are in this line, you should come. I have a lot of youngsters like you all, people who have done BA, BSc, BCom, engineering, all these things. They should be working for the country and to see that India goes to great heights. So we have to train them systematically when they come.
Yes.
So we started a training program. He made me the director for training, completely honorary basis. People were brought and we used to have a lot of applications, 50, 100, 200 people. We will select people who are really genuine, who want to work for the country, they want to dedicate fully without expecting anything in return. No money, everything. They will be just taken care of for their simple life and they have to work in wherever we send, even the deepest interior belts of Arunachal Pradesh, everywhere. Such people we selected. And for them we have to train intensely. So I started training them in yoga. I also in the process started learning more and more about yoga, and Swami Vivekananda's teachings and everything. That's how it went on.
Okay, just coming to the previous points, you were talking about the Upanishads and the happiness. So, what kind of definition you came across in the Upanishad about happiness? So, were there any changes, like you had some concept on your mind about happiness and Upanishad has defined in a different way?
Absolutely. Most of us think that happiness is an object of enjoyment because it's our normal experience. You're going to have a nice rasgulla, Bengali, they were really thrilled. You have gulab jamun, Maharashtra, you have Shrikhand, and all types of things you like. But some people in Chennai and other, they don't like sweet. They want more of dosa or the vada, idli, and other things. So it varies from person to person, varies from community to community.
Sure.
What one community like, another community may not like. What people from Maharashtra and Gujarat like Shrikhand was not at all liked by people in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Because what is this peculiar combination of sweet and sour? You want either sweet or should be sour. Oh, combination. So he did not like. So this goes on. Similarly, what Italians like, Americans do not like. What Americans like, the French do not like. That is countrywide. And therefore, if you ask whether happiness is really contained in objects of enjoyment, soon you will find it is not so. Because let us say that you like Shrikhand and he give you little Shrikhand and you start eating, you are very happy. I will tell, eat little more, little more. So you take little more, little more. We had one person from our Maharashtra, one Marathe, he was very fond of, gulab jamun, So I asked how much you can take. He gave me, let's see, So he was able to have 40 gulab jamun.
At a time.
Then afterwards, you should eat another 10. Then what happened? You can imagine. He was able to vomit out. This is called as the law of diminishing returns.
Yeah, law of diminishing
What gives you happiness in the first or the second or third, it goes on. In spite of it, you think happiness is an object of enjoyment. The whole world is trying to get more and more objects of enjoyment to get the happiness. But that's how they are not getting. So then what is really happiness? That's what the Upanishads address. So what happens? Supposing you go into a cricket match or go into a movie, you are continuously watching that. Your mind is in full concentration. So it lacks absorbing concentration can be a happiness. But then again you put the litmus test. If you do that for longer and longer duration, what is going to happen? Concentration for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, 24 hours, 3 days. You will get fatigued.
Yes.
Even people who are intellectuals working, after 1 hour they want a cup of tea or a coffee or a smoke or a drink. So even that is not there. Then what is it that we call as happiness? So Upanishad takes you deeper and deeper, deeper search. Then it says, if you observe things very closely and make the whole phenomena slow down, you understand better. Today we are in the TV media in which we have cricket match. The person comes and bowls and the person is out, he is going away. We do not know how it happened, but slow playback. How the person is coming slowly, turning hand and the thing is coming up, slowly going further, and the person is trying to hit, he slips and knocks off the ball. You thoroughly enjoy. When you slow down, you understand the reality. So the Upanishad, you slow down your entire process and understand. So when you hit your Shrikhand, imagine that I take a video just like this thing and may slow playback you will do. What is happening then? You are Shrikhand, you are very happy, you are very fond of Shrikhand. You start eating, slowly coming up, come to the tongue. All your mind is only in eating the Shrikhand, mind is fully concentrated. When it comes in the tongue, then something mysterious happens. That your mind becomes completely obliterated with all thoughts. It becomes silent. Then you say, oh, it was so nice, so wonderful, so good. Eat a little more. But that pause that comes up, that silence, that experience, when your Shrikhand comes in the taste buds of the tongue, when it touches, it's called Vishayi Sambhoga. When this happens, the mind gets silenced. That is what Upanishad says is the happening. Because it occurs for a very short time, maybe a millionth of a center, or 1/100th of a second. We miss it. But says, go observe, very carefully observe what is happening. This is the experience we give for all our students here, telling that you must experience that.
So
Once you
being
have
in the
this
moment,
thing,
we
then
can say that.
result of that is silence is happiness. Then you have to stay in that silence for longer and longer time.
Yeah.
So the whole of yoga is to take our mind to that silence. Yogaha chitta vritti nirodha. All thoughts should vanish. You are in that deep silence. No? So that's what the Upanishad tells. So this fascinated me. This never occurred that such a thing can be there. We always thought that happiness is an outside object, go on doing this thing like that. One sense pressure, another sense pressure, another sense pressure, goes on and on. This is the whole life, you know.
Yeah.
So we never understood this secret which has been brought forth in the Upanishad. So once I got this thing, yes, this is the thing we should have in life, you know. Even if you find reality, what is the use? Okay, fine. But we all want happiness, more and more happiness, and
Yes.
permanent happiness we want. Overcome. So Upanishad tells what should be goal of life which is knit into you. No? Sukha prapti, dukkha nivrutti, it is said. All dukkha should go away.
Yes.
Tensions, stressors, diseases, pain, everything should go away. You should be very, very happy. Day by day your happiness should increase. That's the life. So for that what you have to do, you must maintain your silence, that calmness, peace. Go to deeper and deeper levels of silence. This is the one that fascinated. My life completely changed. I started working on this thing. And that is the yoga way of life. Yeah. But it's easily said and done. Okay, stay in silence. Is it possible? So Patanjali gives the whole Ashtanga yoga.
Yeah.
Tumatto, asana, pranayama, mudras, bandhas, kriyas, everything. All these are meant to calm down the mind. Without understanding, people start to do some asanas as physical exercise. But still, they have got anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, everything. Mind just runs out and no control over the mind, you know. So, therefore, we must understand the secret as to why Patanjali is telling yoga chitta vritti nirodha. When you do your asana, says tira, chira, sukha. Sukha should come, that the mind should become silent. So, the conclusion of the Upanishad says peace is bliss, is silence, is the thing that you have to achieve. The more you maintain silence, more time in a day you maintain silence and maintain this, then you have the greater and greater happiness. This is the objective, you know.
Yes, yes. So we can say that being in the present moment is,
Yes.
that is also required for being happy.
Correct.
Like when we are having
Being in
conversation.
present, normally our mind either jumps to the future or to the past.
Yes.
Hardly it is in present. So in present, you have the state, which is, we call it this silence. But that should elongate more and more. So in 1 hour, how long can you be there in a state of present? No, that's silence. Maybe 10 seconds, maybe 15 seconds, 30 seconds, go on increasing. You know, when you do your asana, you go to the final stage, stay in that complete silence. Patanjali says, Ananta Samapatti. Prayatna Shaitila, Ananta Samapatti. You must stay there, you know.
So what do you say about the, the scenario right now we have across the world, or maybe like, across India?
We are bringing out this dimension through various dimensions.
No,
Swami
as far as
Vivekananda
yoga
said
is
there are
concerned.
4 streams of yoga: Gnana Yoga, Rajayoga, Bhaktiyoga, Karmayoga. You can choose any one of them. Don't think yoga is only asanas only.
Yes.
So our brilliant speech our Honorable Prime Minister gave completely opened up the minds of people all over the world. Where people think that yoga means only some physical movement and others. Then instead of that, doing that, go physical exercise, go for gymnasium. Where is the dimension of yoga? So he brought the whole vision of yoga as the science of holistic living. That's what we have to bring.
Yes.
So this standardization has to be brought.
Yeah, it has to be broad, but right now means like the yoga is very popular across the world, even in India. So it's gaining popularity just because the Western people are accepting it more, and then we have started accepting. Otherwise, it's our I'll say lineage, but we started later understanding it much better or respecting that particular segment. So right now, if you see it, like, if you are seeing it on social media as well, or in, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere, if you see the yoga's, the image, what you are talking about, like, or what has been said by Patanjali, it has been different, but what has been brought forward through the media, it has been different. So how to, that gap is there. There is a big gap, right? What has been shown in media, what has been, put forward by media, and what has been exactly told by Patanjali. So there has been a big gap. So how to cover that gap?
So that was a very good and brilliant question. Nice. So what is to be done when good people like you, when you teach, you should bring this dimension in your teachings.
Definitely.
So everywhere, all over the country, all over the world, people should learn this dimension and do that. How to do that? So our Honorable Prime Minister set up a university for this, a department, Ministry of Ayush. So there, the International Day of Yoga, when it has to be celebrated, we developed such a module of yoga called Common Yoga Protocol.
Yeah.
It's about now 45 minutes. Earlier it started with 35 minutes, which contains all the 4 streams of yoga: jnanayoga, rajayoga, bhaktiyoga, karmayoga. Jnanayoga work with the intellect, bhaktiyoga work with the emotions, karmayoga work with the action, rajayoga work with the willpower. All that has been very subtly introduced into the protocol.
Okay.
And we want more and more people should practice. And it is made so simple, everybody can practice. Even a small child can practice. Even the elderly, old person can practice. That's how we tailor-made this thing. It was a big thing with number of meetings that we had before the first International Day of Yoga, which was done in Delhi, as you know.
Yeah.
Rajpath, as Prime Minister said, it became a yoga path. This is done every year. And more people should practice yoga protocol. Therefore, PM has been infusing and telling all ministry that all your people should do that, spread it more and more. Only then the whole country will grow and people will start moving in the right direction. Therefore, last year our target was 20 crores of people should practice Common Yoga Protocol.
On Yoga
This year the protocol
International Yogaday.
is 25 crores of people in the country. Every village, nook and corner, Army, Navy, Air Force, all people, everybody should practice. Now, he also said it would not be a one-day affair. Therefore, from last year we started 100 days of this yoga protocol practicing.
Okay.
All universities, everybody should practice for 100 days. Wow. So we started 100 days before, few days back now, in Talkatoro Stadium, and we had about 6,000 people, and we all launched that 100 days of yoga. So this is going to come up, and this year it should be 25 crores. He told External Affairs Ministry that in all the countries you should do that. Last year about 20-25 countries did not do this. Make effort to see that it goes everywhere. So in America itself, 1 million people practiced last year. So what is to be practiced? Common Yoga Protocol. And along with that, if you want to add some specialties, do that. But minimum complete yoga protocol should be in UNO, in various places all over. This is how we want to spread this total message of things. This is one thing that we have taken. Second thing we have done is that there are lakhs of people in the country who learn yoga by themselves, maybe 5 days, 10 days. They claim to be big masters, That also has to be brought under control.
Yes.
For that, we have said that we have started Yoga Certification Board. Anybody can apply for this thing. No bar of age. It can be only 5 years or 3 years child also. Or it can be 90 years old man. And we don't ask whether you have got SLC or PUC or anything. Whatever you may have, you may not have. Doesn't matter. But we will give you the syllabus, theory and practice. The first thing is protocol instructor. So you can take up this examination with a small fee, and then you can become if you pass, you will give a certificate from the government, Ministry of Ayush. You can give a certificate which will help you to go and then get the jobs anywhere in the country, in different governments. Earlier, people were not knowing to whom we have to give the jobs. Now, we have made it compulsory in all states that you must have a YCB certification, Then after completing this, then you have the second level, yoga instructors. Then you have yoga therapy, wellness and therapy instructor. Like that we have 8 different levels. So people should go on doing this thing. This is the informal thing that is going on. and to bring this thing. This has started bringing a lot of standardization in the country, and they both the theory and the practice. Everything will happen. So gradually we are spreading all over the world also. YCB certification should come. So this is how standardization will come, and see that this real dimension of yoga with this holistic vision should be spread all over. Then our PM also said that it's not only voluntary thing, it should also become part of our education system. So after the first International Day of Yoga, he told Ministry of Education, at that time it was MHRD, so yoga should go into everybody. So in our country, we have what is called NCTE, National Council of Teacher Educators. That is for pre-primary. Before primary, these teachers take care of them. And I was so happy and thrilled that in our country, 13.5 teacher educators are trained in our country. 13.5 lakhs every year.
Oh.
So yoga was made compulsory. They asked us to prepare the syllabus, we made and gave. Simple practice. Then NCERT came forward. So primary, secondary, higher secondary, everything, we made the syllabus. Then UGC came. So PM was pushing everything, we should go into the education system. So we made the syllabus for that, and then UG, PG, everything. So it's growing. So the whole education system, now it has been made, yoga has been made compulsory. But it's a state subject. Some states may adopt, some states may not adopt. Some states are adopting. So that's how it went into the field of education.
How many states have adopted so far?
I think about 4 or 5 states now they have done. Then we wanted to bring it to the health scenario. In the health, yoga has to be brought, whether it's the Ayush or the allopathy, everywhere. And we have been continuously pushing this to make the health integrative medical system. So I've been working in the Planning Commission and Niti Aayog, all these things. Now integration medicine has been made a reality, and the AIMS all have an integrative medicine center. In AIMS Delhi, we started a big integrative medicine advanced research center. So like that, here in Imans also a center has been started, and we are giving these courses for them. For that, the syllabus has been made, and yoga has been made compulsory for MBBS, even first year also.
Okay, medical students as well.
So like that, in the health scenario, the things are coming up. In the health hospitals also it is coming up.
That's nice.
And I have been telling that, you see, prevention is better than cure.
Yes.
Why to get sick and then try to come? You prevent disease. So there is a prevention is better than cure. But do we really believe? If we believe really, then how much of funds you have to allot in your budget? All over the world, people spend only 1 to 2% of the budget. How can you think of prevention? So I have been pressing in the health ministry and all these things. You must spend more and more, more and more. And gradually other people also started supporting me, and it started coming up. Then just before Planning Commission was shifted to Niti Aayog, at that time they asked me, okay, how much we should do? We will propose, prevention will do. I said 20%. From 2%, 20%, too much. We will have 10%. I said, okay, start off. Therefore our minister was there, Dr. Harshvardhan. So he said, we will do. But how to bring that? All over the country, he said, we will start wellness centers. Primary healthcare centers are there, they deal with only infectious contagious diseases. Nobody is starting on the prevention. So I said, we will start wellness centers. 1.5 lakh wellness centers in the country was proposed and set. So budget for each thing, 25 lakhs. So 25 lakhs into 1.5 lakhs will be more than 15-20% of the health budget.
Yes.
This is how it has started. So in the health scenario, it has started coming. So like that, yoga is spreading everywhere, into every nook and corner, to bring better health, prevent diseases, promote positive health, and bring about the total personality of the people, physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, like this thing. For that standardization.
Yes. So these wellness centers, they are in metros, in cities, where
everywhere. That wellness centers are put everywhere is there, and the villages also are coming up. We want a lot of teachers today to teach them. So we need this thing. So YCB is there available, more and more people. Therefore our target is here, you must have nearly 2 lakh teachers in the YCB. Because in our country we have nearly 7 lakh villages, and we want 15 lakh yoga teachers to do this thing, well authorized people to do this thing. So that's our goal. So Ministry of Ayush is keen on that thing, train people.
So is there any website where people can go and see?
I can go there and see that. And the
Okay.
IISc website is there, all details are available
Okay, okay.
in this thing. They can go there and see.
See the wellness center where exactly they are located.
So when you teach, what you must do is you must make all your people undergo this YCB and get authenticated. So YCB members they can be. Only very small amount they have to pay as the fees and they have to take the examination. Then supposing they don't want to become a protocol instructor, they just want to support, they can become volunteers. That also
Okay, that's
ministry has
nice.
said. Okay, you become volunteers, so large number. Our target is about 50 crores of people in the country should become volunteers. Then what happens? Huge number of people are going to come up supporting yoga. So all of you can become yoga volunteers. And some of you are interested, have done something, they can easily become yoga protocol instructors. Very simple. So even small children here, we are making them YCB, like this thing.
There will be written exam as well, right, for
Yeah.
YCBA?
There's a written exam, there's also practical. All online now, but they can come offline also, they can come and then teach.
And it is available in the regional languages as well.
Yeah, in all regions.
Okay,
Marathi, Hindi, everywhere it is available.
okay, okay.
There
That's
were a lot
very
number
nice.
of examiners who have been trained to go there and do the things. Otherwise, online also they can do.
Wonderful.
This is how we are spreading throughout the thing.
That's wonderful. So, just coming back to Swami Vivekanand. So, you are inspired by Swami Vivekanand ji. So, I want to understand from you, like, what are the, aspects of his teaching which make you, so much inspired about him, specifically in a context of yoga?
Particularly earlier, people used to say that jnana is the supreme. To support jnana, we have the bhakti, karma and yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga means Patanjali yoga.
Yes.
Then gradually it shifted from Advaita philosophy to Vishtadvaita, where Ramanujacharya came and said, it's all the bhakti more important. You may have the Advaita, but you may have ego. This was the happening, Therefore, it has to be removed and you must have the prapatti bhava, sharanagati bhava. So, bhakti is important. With the jnana, it is there. Therefore, bhakti is supreme, the jnana, karma and yoga are supporting. Then after some time there is again deterioration in the bhakti, and then Madhvacharya came and said there should be karma is important. You must do your duty perfectly. Without that, you may have jnana, you may have bhakti. If you don't do your duty, your temples will be smashed, everything will be gone. Therefore, he said karma should be there. Therefore, what happened? Karmayoga, jnana, bhakti and then yoga. This was happening. Then when Swami Vivekananda came, everywhere people have become Nastikas in a sense. Everything is physical, and there is nothing like prana or mind or emotions or intellect. Everything functioning at the brain cells, everything at the DNA or RNA molecules, and then everything is there. And therefore, we have said there is nothing apart from the physical world, apart from the physical body. This is what came there. Then what we have to do is, we have to bring all streams of yoga to the fore. Therefore, he said all are yogas. Jnana he called jnana yoga, bhakti is bhakti yoga, karma is karma yoga. What about yoga? He called it as rajayoga. So this is what fascinated me, broadened the vision of yoga. And therefore, in Kanyakumari we started teaching the Swamiji's thing as 4 streams of yoga. All streams of yoga lead to the same goal. The goal is moksha. Moksha is infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, infinite power, infinite freedom. We all should grow from our normal level to become great, super divine human being and reach that divinity itself. So Swami Vivekananda said to manifest that divinity is the goal of life. And he said it should be spread into all walks of life, education, health, then management, economics, journalism, everywhere it should come. He wrote the problems of India and how to solve the problems. He has given beautiful book.
Okay, so 2 things I want to know about the institute, S-VYASA Institute, and the research you have done in terms of yoga. Like I think 300 plus research papers have been published by S-VYASA and by you. So what were they all about?
Our university was based on the teachings of Swami Vivekananda. And Swami Vivekananda also gave a direction that you must combine the best of the West with the best of the East. Don't neglect the West. They have done tremendous amount of work. They spread all over the world.
Yeah.
What is the key essence? Science and the technology and research.
Yes.
So we took research as the base. among all the yoga institutions available in the world, what develops our things, what science is, our research. We are now crossing the 4-digit mark, 1,000 research papers published in the best of the journals. Even many of the institutions have hardly done 2 or 3 papers. So this is the speciality. For that, we have the best research lab here called Anusandhana. This is the best lab in the world. You can measure not only what is happening in the body, what is happening in the pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha, vijnanamaya kosha, everything can be measured with the advanced technology. So we have got people who come for the integrated medicine here. We have got allopathy, yoga, naturopathy, ayurveda, physiotherapy, acupuncture, all under one roof. We have 600 bed facility. People will come here. Today is the admission taking place. 50, 100 people will come and they stay for 1 week, 2 weeks like this thing and do this thing. That way they get wonderful results. People come in stretchers and go walking in 15, 20 days. People were declared almost dead. They are living for years together. So this is the power of yoga. We all have immense power within. Only we have to manifest that. How to do that? We have developed special technique. One big problem in the world, in the country is that people think yoga is yoga. So start giving yoga to all the different diseases. This is very hazardous. I asked the question, can you say medicine is medicine and give the same medicine for everything?
No.
Even when diabetes is there, insulin may be good. But if you give more insulin, it may be hazardous. If you give less, it may not be effective. Therefore, how much of yoga to give, what yoga to give, when you have to give, all these things are very important. Over the last 40 years is what we have done. Dr. Nagaratna, she is our MD, MRCP, FRCP, just like America, I came back. She came back from UK. She was in the big hospitals and she takes care of these things. And under his guidance, we have the integrative medicine that is put. We call it as Vasishta School of Health Integration, the first of its kind. And that is the thing. But we need to train a lot of people. So our university has got 5 divisions. Division of Yoga Spirituality, Division of Life Sciences, Management Studies, Humanities, Physical Sciences. In all these things, we have got UG, PG and PhD program. We have about 250 PhD students who are working here and more admissions take place. Now, thanks to COVID, we were able to spread through online. Otherwise, we could confine only because the infrastructure is less. We cannot have more than, in the campus, we can have about 2,000, 2,500 people, not more than that. But because of this online, it is much more. So we have online programs, 3,000, 5,000 people can all come and join this thing. So that's the advantage that COVID has provided. So COVID has its own pluses and minuses. This is the pluses. So that's how the university is growing. And we have got the people who compete there, they become alumni and they want to start yoga center. Like you have a center. Like that all over the country we have centers. 300 centers are there. They are all affiliated to our Vyasa organization.
Okay.
Now we have our university here and we started a university in Los Angeles called VAYU, Vivekananda Yoga University. Just like here, UGC is very, very rigorous and then you have to produce a lot of documents. There it is called as BPPE in California, very, very rigorous. You have to put so much of document. It took 4 years for us to get the university status there. So now after the masters, now it is the 4th batch going on. Now the PhD also we got permission. We are going to do that.
That's
Now people
wonderful.
who want American degree, they get from VAYU. They want an Indian degree, they come from S-VYASA. So now in different countries people started. In Japan we are working for 35 years and there is a yoga college they have started. I told them, you take American degree because Japan is more close. No, we want Indian degree. We want Indian rules. They have started. Similarly in China, you got 2 colleges there. Like that in different countries it is all coming. Our work, just like in India, 300 centers, all over the world we have work in 80 countries. So that way it is spreading everywhere. And see that our objective is all yoga institutions should work together. Therefore we started Indian Yoga Association, in which we have Swami Ramdev and Jaggi Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, O.P. Tiwari, all major institutional heads. We are all together, working together. Otherwise we are working as islands. And we should all synergize and work together as a thing. That's what IISc does. And we have a number of chapters in every state we have. You can also join our IISc in your Maharashtra state and join the hands.
I
So
will.
that will
Yes. And now, one last thing I want from you, the message to your students who are already passed out from the S-VYASA or who are already studying it, at present they are studying with you. So what kind of message you want to give to them?
I want that everybody should practice complete minimum at least yoga protocol every day, and they should bring more and more people to practice this yoga protocol and bring the things to large number for the International Day of Yoga. And that is the one that brings the great change in the country for these things. And that is going to help. So we give a target. Can you take target of 100 people to bring? 1,000, 10,000 people, some of them who are there in Delhi, they have got 10 centers. I will give them, you should at least have 5,000 people to join for IDY. This is the thing that I want to give the message. All our people, all our students, we want that they should participate in our International Day of Yoga and 100 days yoga protocol practice. First, they should practice themselves and continue doing this thing. That's the message for you also and
Yes.
for all the other also. That is my message.
I will bring.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.